So we have a question about transportation funding, and it's from out your way, Representative Swedzinski, and I'm going to ask you to, this viewer is concerned about funding transportation, but notes that the problem with the gas tax in their part of the state is South Dakota is just across the road, essentially, and worries that, people will then just go across the road to buy gas and so forth. What about transportation funding? Where's that going this session?
Well, I don't sit on transportation committee, but that is obviously an issue that we've heard. It was interesting. Sitting in Commerce Committee, we had the lottery that came before us, and they were talking about lottery sales and online sales of lottery tickets. Mm-hmm. And they said one of the reasons why they're seeing a spike in the amount of sales that they're having is because gas prices are lower. And so that means there's increase. And we asked, why is the reason for that? And they said, well, because people have a little extra money in their pocket, they're spending it on this or that. Maybe they're buying whatever at the gas station or spending it on more fuel. I think that we did a lot of work in the last session. We dedicated a lot of general fund dollars to transportation and transportation projects. Did a lot of bonding. Did a lot of work on Highway 14 across the southern part of the state. A lot of work with corridors of commerce and the changing dynamic of what that brings to the table as well. Just at the end of the day, I don't see a tax increase potentially happen in the area of gas. I don't think there's a vote for it. But obviously a strong commitment in that particular area. There is a declining. You see, as vehicles are getting better and better mileage, you're seeing kind of the law of less returns as those mileages move up. As the economy improves, that does help people move and groove. But with the oncoming of electric cars and what that means from the amount of miles driven, one of the proposals out there was to dedicate the dollars and the cents, generated from auto parts, tires, generators, leases, windshield wipers, leases, and that sort of thing. And I think that's an interesting proposal. I co-sponsored part of that for short-term leases like rental cars to try to dedicate some of those dollars. But at the end of the day, we need good roads, we need good culverts, we need good bridges, and I think we'll figure something out that's going to be a positive fix for roads.
Senator Hayden?
Well, we got to find a dedicated revenue source. We got a lot of need out there. We got a lot of roads and bridges. Let's not forget about transit. Every time I hear the Chamber of Commerce talk, or business leaders, especially in the metro area, they said that especially young people, millennials, when they come to town, they want transit. They want to be able to get around. Most folks don't even want a car anymore. They want to be able to get to and fro through mass transit or biking in the summer and others. So I think that we have to put transit, roads, and bridges, and we need a dedicated revenue source in which to do it. If we do, the leases and rental cars, that money's going to general fund now. Now we have to hold it in the general fund. So I think that we have to figure out those moving pieces. I suspect that the administration is going to come out with some sort of dedicated revenue source. I suspect it'll be a gas tax, but we'll see, or maybe a combination of it. Once again, I think that, and I look to Representative Marquardt and Representative Swedzinski. I know I'm saying that wrong.
Sorry. You're not the first one.
I'm working hard. We have the Swedzinski in the Senate. But hopefully what I wish we would have more of is really good conversation, really good runs, a really good system. Right now, this thing is lining up not only Republican and Democrat, but greater Minnesota and the metro and roads and bridges versus transit. They all have to work together. And I think those that are thinking about this issue really need to kind of pull back some of the ideological rhetoric and really figure out how are we going to get this done. We have an aging infrastructure all over, even in the metro. I live right along the I-35W corridor. That's getting, $300 million worth of work getting done. You guys see it because you got to drive around it all the time. With transit centers, they're redoing, the streets. They're doing just about everything we need to do in that state on that really busy corridor. I think that we could come up with something that works for everybody. And at this point, I really do think that some sort of dedicated revenue source, regardless to the, no new tax ideology, but, I don't know how long fuel prices will stay low, but they're low today. And I don't really think that people will notice it.
Representative Marquardt?
Last year, I think everyone kind of agreed that it was about $600 million a year we needed into the future to maintain our roads and bridges. And so somehow you got to get there, as Senator Hayden said, with some sort of a dedicated, ongoing, permanent funding. Because you've talked to contractors out there, they never know quite, in MnDOT, never can really plan that well into the future if they just kind of don't have this. And I talk to contractors and say, you know, it's kind of a stop and go and you never know about that. But what I think has to happen, and is I think a gas tax has to be a mix. People ask me, do you support a gas tax? I say yes, but only if it's part of a comprehensive package. So here's what would be my suggestion is if you need $600 million, take $200 million from a gas tax. And a gas tax, which is the formula set up from 1956, the Highway User Tax Distribution Fund, in that for rural Minnesota, we will pay 53%. But we get actually 68% back on that funding on the gas tax. So it's actually a winner as far as dollars coming back, and it can only go to roads and bridges, only roads and bridges. Then take $200 out of the $200 million out of the general fund. So you've got something the Democrats are pushing and the Republicans don't like. And take $200 million that the Republicans are pushing, but the Democrats don't like, and then bond for $200 million. And some of that could go to transit and so forth. But it's the only way it's really going to work. And it's also only going to work if the business groups come forward like they did back in 2008 when the override of the veto. So we really need to do some things. So there'd be some things Representative Swedzinski wouldn't like. There'd be some things Representative Markwart and Senator Hayden wouldn't like. But that's compromise. And we really need to get to that point. And without something dedicated in kind of a formula like the gas tax, I don't know if you get there. And you're right. A few years ago, it used to be $32 million to 1 penny of the gas tax. Now I think it's 30 million. So, you know, cars are becoming more efficient, but it still brings in revenue, and it's a dedicated source. It's roads and bridges, and, you know, actually for rural Minnesota legislators, you're actually getting more than what you're paying in.
I'm glad you said that because I have an awfully hard time convincing some of my rural members of that.
Yeah, I just checked on that. Well, it's 2015, the booklet on state aids, and that just came out. I was just looking at that last night or the night before and working on the statistics. And so, yeah, 53 out and 68 back.
All right.